After this show, we will finally have a pregame show for you, and it'll basically be game time. We cannot wait. But before we get there, we got to still give you everything from Halas Hall. Adam Jahns is there. We got interviews. We got audio. We got video. We got quotes from Brian Flores. Big show coming your way right now here on CHGO Bears. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. We are almost there. Just got to go through the weekend here. 3 days. We could do this, guys. We can do it. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman with you. Yes, yep. Carm, hello.
Hey, buddy, did you have fun last night? Did you spit on anybody?
That's a personal question. No, I just watched football and enjoyed it very much. Hey, real quick, we're going to bring in Adam Jahns live from Halas Hall. Do want to remind you, though, Big Brothers, Big Sisters month here at CHGO continues and across our entire ALLCITY network. If you're watching on YouTube, you look for that little logo of two hands shaking right by the chat. You click on that. You can donate directly. 100% of those donations go to Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And if you are listening to the podcast later, or just would rather go to the website, you can go to bbbs.org/ALLCITY. Donate right there. Also want to make sure, don't forget, whether you're going to the game or not going to the game, you can come to our tailgate Monday. It's a great experience. All you can eat, all you can drink. And our guest coming up right now, and he's really not a guest. He's our friend, our coworker. He's Adam Jahns. And he has promised on Hoge and Jahns that he is going to be there Monday. Wow. So as we bring him into the show right now, we are holding him to that standard that he is going to this tailgate. And you guys need to get your tickets. So go to allchgo.com/events and get those tickets and become a diehard where you can join the tailgate tier and basically just have free tickets forever to our tailgates. Well, 2 a year. That's the fine print. Hey, Johnsy, what's up?
So I'm officially on the record twice now for committing to the tailgate. I'm trying to think of an excuse already. Traffic, kid's sick.
Traffic's a good one on a Monday.
I forgot my laptop. If I'm coming to that tailgate, I'm probably leaving at noon. So if anyone wants to do lunch downtown, I could do that too with one of you guys. But I should
Greg
be
will
there.
Be there at 5 a.m. So.
I'm not doing that. No, I'll pass on that. But I'll be there. I'll be there at some point. But eventually, I got to go to the football game.
Yeah, that was the thing that I wanted to nail down. What time? What time there, Adam Jahns? We got you on board, but now we got Jahns fans trying to schedule their day. We know that they know they got to get there early. How early do they need to be there? Because people want autographs. They want to talk.
So what time do you want me there, Carm?
Oh, no. Let's see. I'm leaving at, what do you think, 5:15-ish? Something like that there.
Does not seem like it's all that important. That needs to be figured out right here on the show.
No, it does. It does. 4 o'clock. I like you there at 4 o'clock, Johnsy. 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock? What time is okay? I'm a sports writer, so I'm going to think with my stomach for a little bit. What time is the food served?
Oh, it's served.
It's there.
Immediately?
Yeah.
I'll be there from 3 to 4:15. Yeah. Then we get back to the studio for pregame. That's my schedule.
And Carmen's there from 3 to 5:15?
That's right. That's
All
right. And Braggs, we're leaving him there and never bringing him back, and that'll be good for everybody.
Okay. All right. Johnsy's over at Halas. We had a bunch of stuff going on. It's a coordinator / offensive assistant day, and I know I feel like I'm definitely part of. It's not a problem. I just feel like I'm part of the why this keeps coming up this week, asking about cadences. Caleb's cadence, but I know you had a chance to talk to some of the offensive coaches about that.
Yeah, I talked to Press Taylor. What's his title? Passing game coordinator, Press Taylor, quarterbacks coach, JT Barrett. JT Barrett actually went through his former cadence for me at Ohio State. So that'll be actually in a story I'm writing for Monday and ALLCITY.com. Just the idea of this being a weapon, his cadence being a weapon, specifically against the Vikings, where they want to be exotic, where they want to blitz you, where they want to confuse you, and how you can confuse them with your cadence to get kind of tells on what they're trying to do, where they're trying to pressure you, and so forth, what Brian Flores wants to do to you if you're Caleb Williams. So, like, I was looking for this clip. It was sent to a few of us reporters last year where Caleb is going through his cadence in different games, and it's the same verbiage, same cadence verbiage every single week, again and again and again. I was looking for it. I couldn't find it. He referenced that, I think, a couple days ago, Adam, when you brought it up to him in terms of cadence being a weapon for him or being a tool for him. He mentioned the video, or you guys seeing some of that video. I can't find it right now. Maybe it disappeared. But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Well, and that's, from my understanding, is I don't want to say they completely got rid of cadence, but there wasn't much going on last year once they finally.
If you search like Caleb Williams and cadence, you get some old stories from Matt Eberflus discussing how important it is, how much he wants him to work on it. But then you get that video from during the season where apparently they worked very little on it, or not enough for it to be a weapon for him against teams like the Vikings, where you need to get tells on how they're going to try to attack you.
Well, so that's interesting when you think about how this season's going to go, right? Because I don't think Ben Johnson and Declan Doyle are going to give up on anything. I think that they might trim it down, but this feels like, hey, this is how we're going to play, and you might not have a week 1, but then we're going to try to have a week 2, and if it ain't week 2, then it'll be week 3, and so on down the line. I mean, do you see it the same way, Johnsy?
How this offense is going to evolve?
Yeah, but they're not that. Eventually, he's going to get Ben Johnson's system come hell or high water. That's kind of how I think this will play out. It's that they're not going to all of a sudden change the offense to fit around whatever skill sets that Caleb had before.
Well, no, they will like cater towards things he excels at, things he does well. They'd be insane not to do it. Ben Johnson is on record saying that. Declan Doyle is on record saying that. Like, some of the stuff already in the offense fits what Caleb does well already. But to your point, like, there's going to be some choppy waters with this offense in the early going. At least that's how I foresee it after watching training camp play out here over the course of August in the past several weeks. It's been choppy. It's been up and down. They've been open in discussing how choppy and up and down it's been. So I expect some of that to continue into the regular season. Like, how bad it gets, I'm not sure. Maybe that depends on the opponent. And this week 1 opponent isn't an easy one. So I expect some rough waters, per se, this week against Brian Flores. But, yeah, you always try to look at, like, the season in 4-game increments. I know with the 17th game added, it's a little bit different now, but I think coaches still keep that mindset just in terms of their own evaluations, their own installs, what they want to tweak, what they want to change. So let's talk with the 5th week, and I think that's around the bye week too, to see how much changes there really are. But yeah, this up and down that we saw throughout training camp here, I expect that to continue on at least for the first 3 or 4 games this season.
You know what we've talked very little about, except for maybe just a very beginning of training camp with some snap things, is the center position. And I think that is a very, very good thing that has not been a constant source of discussion over, I don't know, basically the entire length that the Hoge Jahns podcast has existed over there. By the way, that show starts at 2:15. My point is Drew Dalman. I think it's very, very good we're not talking about Drew Dalman. I think it's a very good sign that things are good with the center, that they paid a lot of money. But what about his impact and how he's going to help all this with Caleb Williams?
You know what? How about maybe we should be talking more about Drew Dalman. But to your point, we're not talking about Cody Whitehair transitioning from guard to center. We're not talking about Ryan Bates, another transition from guard to center, competing with Coleman Shelton, who happens to be a left-handed center, where things are a bit different. So to not have that part of the equation or part of the conversation for Caleb Williams this year, like, that's a good thing. I talked to offensive line coach Dan Rouchard today, and you forget how much work goes into being the center. Everybody always talks about everything that's on the quarterback's plate and how much film and how much they digest, how much work they put in behind the scenes. But the centers do the same, right? They're the ones helping Caleb. Like Drew Dalman's the one helping Caleb Williams out in terms of IDing everything that they're seeing. Like Caleb Williams needs Drew Dalman to be on top of his game every single week, starting this week because of all the confusing looks the Vikings are going to throw at him. So maybe we should be talking about him more. I'm glad we're talking about him right now, but I'm very happy we're not talking about a center competition or a guard turn center this week.
Well, right. Or, it's a really good thing that Justin Fields used to play shortstop, right? Because like all those ground balls he would get from his centers, he was ready for him. He would just get down, get your ass down and get, glove in the middle, ready position. He had that experience so he could get through it, but Caleb doesn't have to worry about that.
And what was like the one critique this year? Drew Dalman's snaps are too fast.
Yeah.
Like seriously? Like that seems to me like a good thing. Once the cadence gets down and Caleb gets used to it, that could be a benefit.
Right. That's the speed it's supposed to be at. And I remember having this conversation last year between Ryan Bates and Coleman Shelton, where one of them like snapped the ball super slow. It was like a changeup coming at you, like a little floater. And then the other one was like a little bit more normal. Well, Dalman's just firing the ball back there. You better be ready to catch it and go. And that should help the timing of the entire offense. I
personally just really appreciate the reminder that Coleman Shelton snapped left-handed. I had forgotten that for 5 minutes. And now that we're back there, it's kind of a horrifying memory, but impressive. It was
Can I highlight that chat from Bo Chanton there? He said, didn't Mike Tice teach his centers how to read coverage to help make calls? That is true. Yeah. Mike Tice, Nate Tice had Mike Tice, his dad, on his podcast. And that was fascinating because Mike Tice talked about that, about how he would actually have, because he's like, where are you supposed to look? The safeties. Look at what the coverage is. So that's what the quarterback's supposed to be reading. Middle field open, middle field closed. That's how you start. Then you try to ID if it's man or zone from there. And so if the center can do that, same thing, that's how you help your quarterback. Now you're on the same page.
Let's move on from this to what I like to call the X factor. And I believe there was an Adam Hoge who went out yesterday and highlighted Luther Burden and his ability to potentially be a major playmaker here. And he's learning behind a guy by the name of Olamide Zaccheaus, correct, Adam Jahns? And I guess there's something building between these two that you've uncovered?
Yeah, yes. This is, it's a unique transition for Luther Burden. Let's be honest. He's going from being a star receiver, from being discussed as a first-round pick, to now essentially being a reserve on the Bears. And that could be, humbling in a sense, but he has embraced it, according to Antoine Randall. Like, first of all, what other choice does he have? But that's a great room with a lot of different receivers to learn from DJ Moore to Roma Dunze to OZ, who has really connected with the rookie receiver. So Randall L. did say, and Adam Hoge's going to like this because he has a prediction about this coming up later on Hoge and Jahns. There's a few packages that have Luther Burden built into them already. Now, that's not surprising. We know Ben Johnson wanted to do that, and Luther Burden's skill set, his talent is just too great to keep him on the sidelines, but just not being like the number one or being the superstar in this team is an adjustment for Luther Burden in a sense, but this is a great learning opportunity for him to really embrace, and according to Randall L., he is. Like, he's got to know a little bit of everything, especially playing that slot receiver position that OZ plays. There's a lot that goes into it. You have to know just about everything that needs to happen on the field, and he's learning it.
So this would be a huge development for the record, because Luther Burden to me seems like a guy who, listens to Luther Burden and doesn't necessarily have his ears open to all that's around him. So if all of a sudden he's, if they're getting to him to that level and Olamide's in there, I think that could be huge for the Bears, huge for Luther, the whole thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that starts with Randall L., really. A guy who's won a Super Bowl as a player, Super Bowl as a coach, a guy who really connects with his players as like Randall L., let's be honest, is probably still the best athlete in that room. Like, how many people in this world could say they've been drafted by the Chicago Cubs, beat Kevin Garnett in high school basketball games? Like, he's, that's a special story right there that Randall L.
Somebody should write that story.
Yes, yeah, I did. Yeah, go check that out on ALLCITY.com. But like Randall L. was the one banging on the table for his selection once everyone saw that he was available. So to have a coach behind you like that, to really get you on the same page with what Ben Johnson wants him to be, wants him to do in this offense, like that's something important. And I think Randall L's delivering and all the things that Ben Johnson hoped he would, especially here in the early going.
By the way, I had a couple minutes with OZ in the locker room the other day. We're going to play that for you in our next segment. There's moments in training camp, and maybe it's only a few, but they see whether they're good or bad. I think every year there's like maybe 3 to 5 defining moments that really do have a big impact on the season. The week that all of a sudden Luther Burden took off just seems like it matters. It just really does. All the vibes were bad. We didn't see this guy. We didn't know what was going on. Camp started. He's not even out there. It's like, what is going on here? First day out there, he gets tossed out of the team drill because he's not, lined up, doesn't know what he's doing. And then all of a sudden something clicked. And this dude was taking the coaching, looked awesome. You see all the skill. And there's been no sign since that day that slipped at all.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a part of this thing.
Yeah, Adam, you and I have been at this long enough. Carm, you too, to know that, like, we've heard coaches talk about, he's, things might be limited for him at first here in the early going as he finds his way and he learns some things. No, it was the complete opposite of that. Here's Randall L saying we have some packages built in for him already here, ready to go in week 1. That to me is very telling. It's very important for his development, his progress, and for him embracing this role right now as a reserve. But I also like the fact, again, like, I love that the Bears wasted no time in trying to establish Luther Burden and Colston Loveland, despite them missing time early on in the offseason program. As soon as they got ready for camp, like, here we go, full speed ahead. We know how important you are. We know how good you are. Let's find ways to get you the football in this offense right now.
So, go ahead, Carm.
I just underline out this whole thing, and I want to dive into this more next week. But look, coaching matters, man. Getting players to their however close to their ceiling you can get them to is something that when Bears teams have been successful, they've had coaches that have done that. And when they haven't, I'm not saying there's always been this ton of talent that could have been unwrapped, but it's there with Luther. It's there with Caleb. It's there on the offensive line, and the staff is so much better now that if you're looking for reasons for optimism, I think you really can point to the coaching staff elevating guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's on both sides of the ball. Dennis Allen included.
100%.
His coaches, Al Harris in the secondary. Same stories, just different positions, and still good vibes coming. Just, obviously different side of the football.
All right, we got to put your feet to the fire because we did this on yesterday's show. And we do have new Hoge and Jahns coming up at 2:15. It'll be our normal game preview episode. Got a lot of good stuff in there, including our picks for the game. But we did not ask you in that episode your record prediction.
Ooh.
So I'm going to ask you that. What do you have for the Bears record in 2025?
We had some guy in our show earlier this week that picked the Bears to go 8-1. Just complete absurdity from a certain colleague of ours. I am standing by, I think, the way that I felt for a while now. Like, the Bears could be a winning football team. I think they will be a winning football team. How many wins they get, there's a lot of factors that play into it. It's health. It's the chemistry between the play caller and the quarterback. It's the defense's health, especially with some early injuries early on to get through here. So I'm going to stick with 9-8. I feel like I've been saying that for a bit now. I've been anywhere between 8-9 to, 10-7. I can't see them going above that. Maybe 11 wins is like if everything goes well. I still have that, we should know better mindset, but I like the vibes on offense. I think there's enough talent on defense to keep games close, like every game close. And if this offense starts to click with Caleb Williams at some point, maybe earlier the better. Like, I could see this being a winning football team. They'll be in the playoff conversation for a little bit, but 9-8, they're a winning football team. I think you see progress from Caleb Williams. I think you see chemistry with Ben Johnson. And I think you see a lot of good things from a lot of different playmakers across the board on Ben Johnson's offense.
Johnsy, great stuff. Appreciate it. And if you want more of Jahns, go to ALLCITY.com. Check out the story on Randall L. Check out the story in the Bears quarterback room. There's a ton of great stuff. All of our predictions are up there on the website right now, including Carm's and Pat's and even Braggs, who apparently, I mean, it's 1:20 right now. It's 1:20, so he's not watching the show anymore. He is at the Cubs game.
He's probably
Friday
still
before the Bears season starts. It's
He's probably still watching to see if anybody says anything bad about him, so that he can find out and then kill us. 3 o'clock, Jahns. You'll see you on Monday. 3 o'clock on Monday. We'll see you.
See you, boys.
There he is, Adam Jahns over at Hallis. And Bragg still trolling, asking Jahns what would be the record if Bagent started. And that's a good teaser, because when we come back, I'm going to go on a little rant. So be ready for it. We're also going to hear from Olamide Zaccheaus. We got a bunch of sound from Declan Doyle, the offensive coordinator. Good stuff coming your way. Yes, Carman, I'm about to toss a break.
I would like to file a harassment lawsuit with HR against Greg Braggs officially on the show. Thank you, HR.
We'll see if it gets there. We'll be right back.
Shout out to our friends at Bet365. We've been telling you about Bet365, and I'm telling you again because they have a $365,000 jackpot on Sunday Night Football. They've got a 50% super profit boost token on Monday Night Football. There's a 100% parlay boost. If you're gambling on the NFL, do it this weekend with Bet365. And breaking news from Bet365. New customers, you now get $300 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. So you sign up, use the code CHGO365, you deposit $10, you place a bet for $5, and then you get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, players, props, futures, or more, whatever the moment. Never ordinary at Bet365. You do have to be 21 or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in-app only.
And I'm excited to let you know we are bringing an old friend back to the show. From handcrafted steaks to delicious fall favorites, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. Enjoy USDA certified tender steaks, juicy burgers, cozy and convenient comfort meals, plus tailgating favorites like chicken wings, smash burgers, and big deli style franks. And right now during the Red Hot Sale event, you can get 50% off site wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code BEARS at checkout. I've been going to Omaha Steaks for a long time. When that box shows up at your door, you are so excited to get going and get grilling. So get fired up for that fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during the Red Hot Sale event. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code BEARS at checkout. Again, 50% off at omahasteaks.com. Add an extra $35 off with promo code BEARS at checkout. See site for details. All right, keeping things rolling here. We got a lot of good stuff, so don't go anywhere. But I do got to take this quick opportunity to just say this. We're going to set the table for the season with this, okay? Like, I think we're all aware, whether we're participating in it, we've boycotted it, we're leaning into it like some people are. We understand what that website formerly known as Twitter now is. Now X. Okay, so here I just have a request for you. I have a request. I appreciate each and every one of you that watches this show, and you're watching. You can't wait to pull something and put it on Twitter. We'd like that. I mean, thank you for promoting our show. It's very nice of you. But if you're going to take a 6-second clip and post it completely out of context and create a firestorm just for engagement, you are not a serious person. You're just part of the problem on that website. I thought about retweeting this yesterday and doing that, but then it just brings more exposure to it. So I thought I would just address it here on this show. But yes, Mark Carman said on this show yesterday that he thinks the Bears could win 10 games with Tyson Bagent. Guess what? That's not a crazy take. Tyson Bagent's pretty good. They just re-signed him. The Bears could be pretty good. 10 wins with the backup quarterback is actually possible. That's not that crazy. And yes, he also said the Bears, his official prediction was 7-10. So if you want to move things around and be like, oh, that means he thinks they'd be better with Tyson. You know what he also said that was not in that 6-second clip? He also said he thought the range was from 12 wins to 5, I think you said, right? 12 to 5 in there? Pretty not a hot take there. Pretty big range there, buddy. But that is the NFL. But you did specifically say at one point, I think they can win 11 games with Caleb. I didn't see that in the 6-second clip. So just stop with that nonsense, please. It's just add some context to what you're going to put out there. We appreciate it, but trying to just blow something out of proportion is just it's not fair to anybody here, especially the people who are trying to consume things on that website that want accurate information. And it's just it is what it is. I get it, but that's just my request for the rest of the season. Take it or leave it.
It has been an interesting week. Thank you for underlining this one, Hoge. It's been an interesting week on the old mentions here, and I probably put myself in harm's way in some ways that that just straight shouldn't have, or couldn't, or just didn't need to, which is fine. And I get it that people are so passionate about the football team. You don't want to hear anything what you perceive to be as negative, which doesn't even have to be negative. And yeah, I got a lot of faith in 17. Whenever he plays forever, I think that guy's going to be a hell of a quarterback. I also think that the number 1 overall draft pick is insanely talented. And if he hits his ceiling, they're going to win a ton of football games here and everybody will be happy, which, by the way, would be sweet. Nothing would make me happier than watching Adam Hoge walk into the studio every single day and hug Greg Bragg 16 times. And I guess mainly that guy, the other dude who's in the chat doing whatever he's doing and created that clip, by the way, it was just had a smile on his face. And maybe if the Bears were 12-0, he'd be happy, although I'm not really sure that would actually happen, but maybe he would be. And I'd love to see it. And then we could all just hug him so tight. Gregory.
Can I add another disclaimer too? As much as work as we put into this and try to analyze every little thing, and I got my whiteboard going on over there with all these little circles and stuff.
Whiteboard.
I have no idea what's going to happen this season. The league is not scripted. If it is scripted, I haven't seen the script. I have no idea what's going to happen this season. So if you want to hold us to all these predictions are fun. I remember Dan Bernstein used to be like, I don't make predictions because none of us actually know. That's true. You know what's also fun to do, though? Make predictions. It's fun. That's what we're doing here. And I'm having fun.
Yeah, and I'd like to say that I actually do know what's going to happen, judged by my record, 33-17, 1 game better than Gregory, even though it was the Hail Mary game and I got lucky. Yeah, okay. 33-17, I can see the future 66% of the time right now.
I was thinking about this last night. Remember on the show yesterday when I was like, man, even Matt Eberflus beat the 49ers and went to the Super Bowl in the same year in week 1. And you guys were all like, there was a monsoon. Yeah, there was a monsoon. It was an act of God, but it happened. You know what happened last night before the first play from scrimmage? The best player on the field spit at the quarterback and got ejected. It's the NFL. It's unbelievable, the theater we get. No one knows what's going to happen every single week. That's why it's so awesome. And I can't wait for Chargers and Chiefs tonight. What's going to happen tonight in Brazil? Something crazy will. And there was a lightning delay last night. Who knew that was going to happen? And that's the game.
Yeah, and let me do another one on last night because I got a lot of Bears that see they could have never handled Jalen Carter because he look at what he. Okay, the guy's an elite talent. Did the Philadelphia Eagles win the Super Bowl last year? You can't just stand. Oh, see, he spit. It would have been terrible if he had been a Bear. And by the way, I get it. They were trying to develop the quarterback. They needed an offensive lineman too, and they were trying to get Justin off, and that's why they drafted Darnell. And Jalen had all those question marks. But if you're going to sit there today in 2025 after the guy's wrecked the NFL for a couple of years, and yeah, he's a problem off the field. I get it. There's all sorts of stuff going on. Coaches, penalties, now spitting. He's a lot to handle, but sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze. The dude is an incredible football player. I don't think the Eagles are going to cut him. I think he'll be out there in week 2. And yes, he's an idiot. He shouldn't have spit on Dak Prescott, but the guy's just really good at his job.
You know, if you told me that you're going to lose 1 game of him because he spit on somebody, which I don't condone at all, and he should have been ejected, it was ridiculous. I hope he gets fined and all that stuff, but he can be an all-pro for the next 16 games in the playoffs. I'll take that.
Right. I mean,
I'd sign up for that. Okay, that was fun. Good real talk there. Maybe that's a new segment here. Real talk with Hoge and Carman. We got to take another quick time out. I promise you, my conversation with OZ, it's short, but it's sweet and it's good. It's coming up next, and then we're going to hear from Declan Doyle. We get right back into the X's and O's of this matchup. Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson versus Brian Flores. That's all coming up next. But first.
Hey, coaches. Hey, athletes, listen up. We got a new sponsor here. They're our friends at Eye on the Ball. Let me talk to the coaches first out there, kind of talking to myself. If you want to coach, help a youngster, move along, it's very simple. You create a profile, you upload your background check, boom, you are in. There's a new promo for coaches, free 6 months. It's just $50 a month, and they're going to connect you with all these athletes that you can help via Eye on the Ball. So if you're ready to grow your coaching business and you want to reach more athletes, go check it out right now, eyeontheball.net. And if you're an athlete out there, the right coach, that can change everything. Doesn't matter if you're just starting out. Hey, if you're a dad out there, if you're a mom out there, you got a kid, you want to help them out.
If you're Carm who needs more tennis help.
Exactly right. Eyeontheball.net. Find your coach. Take your game to the next level. I'm 0-1 in the tennis league. Maybe I should get out there for that too. Soccer, swimming, baseball, basketball, you name it. Coaches are on there. Eyeontheball.net.
Hey, get ready for epic family fun. Monster Jam is coming back to Rosemont. The world's most popular Monster Jam trucks and best drivers roar in Allstate Arena from September 12th to 14th. It's coming up here. Get ready for nonstop excitement with gravity-defying stunts, hard-pounding races, and plenty of big air. I took the kids to this last year. It was loud, but it was fun. The world's best drivers tear up on the dirt as they battle for the event championship in 3 competitions. You can experience Monster Jam live. Become a fan for life with an ultimate day of family fun at Allstate Arena from September. I don't know what that was. 12th to the 14th, 2025. Get ready to cheer and be amazed as massive Monster Jam trucks and world champion drivers take over Rosemont for a weekend. Tickets are on sale now at www.monsterjam.com. Okay. Well, we recorded that earlier. I'll take some people behind the scenes. We usually take the read that I'm doing and I put it over the screen here, so I couldn't actually see Carm. Now watching that with your face, the facial expressions. If people don't go to Monster Jam now, I don't know what else they could possibly be doing.
Everybody's heard the commercials, right? It's pigeons in there. Sunday. Arr!
That was great. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and for the record, I'm stealing. That was from Jay Zawoski, and Mario did a phenomenal Monster Arena. And so it motivated me to throw a little extra in there. That was amazing. So
I promise you, the truck sounds, because I took my kids to that's real. The sounds are much louder and much cooler than whatever the hell was just coming out of Carm's mouth there. Yeah. All right. I had a chance to talk. We were talking earlier with Jahns about Luther Burden, OZ's role in this offense, Olamide Zaccheaus, and everything he has to know. So I had it's a short conversation. I had a chance to talk to him in the locker room the other day, pretty much about that. What is it about this offense for you that you feel like you've been such a good fit with?
Honestly, I mean, I feel like I can fit wherever, you know, I know what I'm capable of doing, but it's really just getting as comfortable as possible, and then just getting the reps on the field, and then I feel like I can play anywhere, to be honest.
At what point in your career did you kind of figure out that, hey, I kind of got to know every spot no matter what offense I'm in? Because Antoine Randall talked about that with us a couple weeks ago.
My rookie year, I just knew it was like somebody, I was in a pretty crowded room my rookie year. Julio, Calvin Ridley, and Russell Gage, and Mohamed Sanu, and Justin Hardy. It was like my thought process was just like, if anybody gets tired, like I want to be the guy to go in the game. So it didn't matter what position it was. It's just I want to be that guy to kind of take that spot. So since then, I've always just learned every spot and kind of learned things conceptually.
How's this room stack up compared to that one? That one sounds pretty good.
I mean, that's a great room, but this is also a pretty good room too. I think we have two young bucks that have a lot to prove as far as their expectations or whatever, and I think they're going to come along as well. And then me and DJ being a certified vet, and then me being in the league for 7 years, kind of knowing what I've been able to do with the opportunity. I like our room. I like our room a lot.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Brax has brought this up a couple times. Earl Bennett and like Earl Bennett was beloved by fans. This dude, whatever the line is of like confident, but also humble at the same time, and just being professional. Like that guy is every time you ask him about his role in the offense, he's like, yeah, I know everything. But he's also like completely humble and not trying to talk up things to like a ridiculous level. I don't know. OZ's, he was the player of training camp. He was awesome, and I think he's going to be great for this team in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, if falling in love with Olamide Zaccheaus before he plays his first regular season game for the Bears is wrong, then I don't want to be right. That guy is incredibly likable. He's been on point to what you just said in the entire training camp. And I really did enjoy. I came in a really tough room. How's this room? It's pretty good. Like, yeah, we're not quite there yet, but I think that when you're talking about just somebody that what you're going to get week in and week out doing things the right way, that's what you got in Olamide. It's a hell of a pickup by Ryan Poles. I really, it's got to give Caleb a lot of confidence knowing that he's got this guy who's going to run his routes to his, on point every day in practice. And I think, hey, how many catches Monday night, Hoge? How many you got for Olamide?
Ooh, I haven't really given that a lot of thought. 5?
5 seems right? That's what's popped in my head. 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there. He's going to get the football. Bottom line, the ball's going to be coming his way because they have a lot of confidence in him. So I'm excited to see what he can do.
Steven, maybe if you got a chance here, and we're going to play some of this Declan Doyle stuff, maybe we can look up on Bet365 what the over-under is on OZ catches, because I haven't looked at that yet. That's a good question. In the meantime, a lot of good stuff from Declan Doyle today on Caleb, this matchup against Brian Flores, which I feel like I've been talking about for 6 months now. But there's 3 cuts here we're going to play from Declan. They're all really important for Monday night's game. The first question was about just the idea, how important it is for Caleb to go through his reads in order to be efficient as a quarterback. And Declan had a great answer.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like pass game efficiency is about taking what's there and obviously just working through his reads. The biggest thing on every given play, he's got a place to start, and he's going to have outlets and answers that he needs to find later in the play. And that's really how that number goes up, is when guys are playing through 1 and 2 and they're able to find 3 and 4, find the back, whatever that may be. But really that's kind of the goal. Is it's process related. It's talking him through each of these plays and where that ball might need to go if the primary isn't open.
And look, that's a lot easier said than done. Like I like how these coaches talk about things like you should be able to do this. Yeah, absolutely you should. It's the NFL and you're the number 1 overall pick. It's not going to happen overnight, but that's the idea. But getting to read 3 or 4, getting into the back, it's, I don't have to tell Bears fans, they've seen quarterback after quarterback after quarterback struggle getting that far in the progressions. I will say this, we saw some reps in the preseason where Caleb did that. He had the protection. You can actually see from the end zone, eyes go here, 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 bang, ball's out, specifically in that Bills game. But there was even a play against the Chiefs where that happened. So there's signs that it could be coming.
It's a really hard job being a quarterback in the NFL. It's just, you got 3-4 seconds. Boom, 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 boom. I mad respect to the dudes that do it and do it well. But it's really a pleasure to listen to Declan talk about it. There's some other good stuff here that's coming up that I found really interesting today. Is just talking about eyes and where you got to go with and having that so you know what you're doing as a QB and sort of a pathway to being successful.
Yeah, a lot of talk about cadence. Maybe at some point I'll do a deeper dive on like what exactly goes into a cadence and kind of how that works. In terms of right now, just the basics, I thought Declan Doyle did a really good job of explaining just why it's so important and how much it affects the timing of both the offense and the defense. Here's Declan Doyle on that topic.
On every given snap, anytime you're throwing the ball or running the ball, but specifically throwing it, we're in a race. The wideouts are in a race really with the D-line. And so anytime you can give your guys a head start or slow them down, that can be a weapon that we can utilize. Everything is so timing related in the passing game, and same thing with our get off in the run game. And so really trying to give our guys an advantage at all times. and making sure that he's consistent with that cadence. We vary it, and that's just something we work every day.
I like how you put that, Carman. It's a race between the wide receivers and the D line. Like, you don't think about it that way, but yeah, it's, can you get open faster than the rush can get home?
Right. How quickly can you shed your dude, get into your break, and have the quarterback recognize it, and so the football is your way, and there we go. What's that?
But even like if it's a half second, we talk about get off. It's why it matters so much in football. If all 11 guys on the offense are in tune with the cadence, they know exactly when to start moving, and the defense is guessing. They don't.
Yep.
Now, if you have simple cadence, like we were talking about with Jahns earlier, where it's just the same thing all season, they're going to pick that up on film. They're going to pick that up within a game. They're going to pick it up by the second quarter, by the end of the first quarter, and they're going to be firing off the ball faster. But the more you vary that cadence and mask when the ball's coming out, the more they're going to be playing on the heels. It's why going on the road matters so much. You go on the road, all of a sudden you're in the silent count. They know when the ball's being snapped. It's tapped the guy next to you on the ass. The ball's coming out. Everybody knows it. And that's a disadvantage then offensively. So as much as you can create that advantage, again, just like we were just talking about with the timing and the progressions, easier said than done. There's a lot that goes into a cadence. And if one guy in that huddle does not hear what it's supposed to be when that play call comes in, false start, or he's just standing there late and is late on his block and gets beat.
Well, it's just a reminder, too, that the margins in every game in the NFL seems this way. It's so tight. Winning and losing, the difference is so thin. So any edge you can get, these are the best in the world doing this. They do it every single day. How do you get an edge? 4-4-2, 4-4-5-1. I mean, we're talking about nothing. And so being a very well-coached team who, yes, uses the cadence to your advantage, or just details in general, it's a huge separation thing, which is rewinding back to, one of the points we made earlier in the show. It's one of the reasons to be confident in the Bears this season and going forward, because it finally feels like they have a coaching staff, not just Ben, but all over the place, that can give you an edge that could be the difference between winning and losing.
I'll give you an example. If you watched the game last night, Cowboys-Eagles, I think it was Tyler Smith, first-round pick from a few years ago, playing left guard for the Cowboys. Basically just tackled a guy on an obvious holding call. Like, he's a pretty good player, just...
Yep.
If you look at the play, Dak trying to change the play late, and then like they ran out of time, and they just had you could hear him yell out like whatever the word was, we got to go, but it was clearly not the cadence that was called in the huddle, and that all of a sudden one guy on the line was late getting it. They showed the replay. He's super late getting off the ball, because they weren't all on the same page. It was a little bit too much going at the line of scrimmage, probably by Dak trying to get in the right play. Bam, holding, 10 yards back. Now you got a big negative play. That stuff matters.
I thought that play was interesting too, that he basically deliberately took the holding penalty. I don't want to get my quarterback killed. I messed up, or whatever. This play's messed up. I'm just gonna grab you and just take the penalty right now and live to play another day. Also, by the way, talking about last night, Jack Sanborn did not have his best night. People were coming at me. Don't give up on the sand god. I understand he looked a step slow last night. Just let him get situated down in Dallas. Don't tell me about Jalen Hurts shaking him at the end of the game. No one's making that tackle in the open field. That's unfair to the sand god. So lay off the sand god. Bottom line, the Cowboys got a steal, and he's in the middle of their defense, and he'll get there. So you sand god haters need to settle down.
This is not against Jack Sanborn. He was just wrong guy at the wrong time. But the second tush push they ran,
oh my God,
he jumped on top of the pile and literally crowd surfed like 4 yards backward, because the whole pile was just moving him underneath him, and he had no control over it. It was like they showed the overhead, and I'm like, there's the sand god just crowd surfing over the tush push.
I was hanging on in the Discord last night, like I said I would on the show yesterday, and so I put it in there, tush push greater than sand god, because that was horrible, but he got a good ride. He was sand godding to they were right there, man. The Cowboys could have won that football game. CeeDee Lamb had we don't need to rehash it, but man, what a rough night for a great player.
One more from Declan Doyle here. I mentioned earlier when I was talking about how the center, if you can read the coverages, you're always looking open field close or open, I should say, middle field open, middle field closed, then you're trying to identify man versus zone. Well, when it comes to identifying man versus zone, that's why you're going to see a lot of pre-snap motion with this offense. Declan Doyle talked about that.
I think a lot of times with movement, as things change and pieces move, defenses have to, one, communicate, and secondly, a lot of times they have to show you and tip their hand a little bit because they don't know whether you are getting ready to snap it or you're going to move and get set, whatever that may be. But yeah, a lot of times you can get a defense a little bit off balance and make them play left-handed just by moving guys around.
And on the flip side, Brian Flores also talked about playing against Ben Johnson. Obviously, Ben Johnson's had a lot of success against the Vikings defensive coordinator. I had the stats for you. 0-4, looking at 30.5 points per game. The Lions put up in 4 meetings over the Vikings the last 2 years in those 4 matchups. Brian Flores said in his press conference, what doesn't make facing his offenses tough? It's the run game, it's the pass game, it's the play action game, it's the screen game, gun runs, under play action, gun play action, third down, red zone. He does a good job of putting it all together. I just hear all that and I'm like, it's a lot to prepare for as a defense and as an offense to just have all that at your disposal. And if you're the quarterback, it's a lot on your plate. So again, if things look bumpy here early in the season, don't freak out. I actually like that the Bears have that bye week after 4 games. I think it's going to be very, very valuable to kind of just take a step back and realize where they're at and regroup and get things going in the right direction. Or maybe it looks awesome Monday night and they're just good.
Yeah, and if it does, let's just hope on the worst case scenario that through the 4, 2-2 is fine. Can we get to week 4 at 2-2 and then and go on from there? I like that thought process though, that the bye coming early and hey, let's take a deep breath and here we go. The rest of the way, go Ben, go. That's a hell of a compliment though from Brian Flores.
Well, we have to take our final break. When we come back, a Super Bowl champion joins this show. Don't go anywhere. CHGO Bears.
And a shout out to our friends at Prize Picks. Simple to play. All you got to do, more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. It's going on in more than 40 states. Let's get it going right here. And yeah, listen, are you going more or less on Caleb Williams, 212.5 passing yards? Are you going more or less on JJ McCarthy, 222.5? If you got the right picks, you will get it done. Show your knowledge. Prize Picks also invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Lots of way to do this. It's a beautiful thing. Hey, download the app today. Use the code CHGO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use the code CHGO to get $50 off instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to our friends at Prize Picks.
And I just looked out my window here. The sun has come back out. It has returned, which means when I get done with this show, I'm going to have to put those Shady Rays on and get back outside. Look, Shady Rays, they changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life, seriously good looking, polarized, durable. They're not stupidly expensive. And the wild part is if you lose or break them, and I've lost them, I've hit myself in the face and had my sunglasses fly off the boat right in the water, sink right to the bottom. You don't want to have that happen. But when they're not stupidly expensive, and Shady Rays does this, even day one, you lose or break them, they're going to send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. It's an insane deal. That's what they do. And now I actually wear my sunglasses without fear on hikes, at concerts, on the boat, wherever. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Go to shadyrays.com. Use code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The Shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. All right, Mark, you want to set this up? You had a chance to talk to a Super Bowl 20 champion yesterday.
Yes, as we're going out to Vegas, a bunch of Bears are going to be out there, including number 83, the first-round draft pick in 83, Willie Gault. The true, I'd have to argue against myself thinking back about this, but probably the best deep threat the Bears have ever had. I mean, this is a track star playing football back in the day for those who are not familiar with Willie, and he would just take the top off the defense, which helped out the offense, helped out Walter Payton, gave some space in all of it. Willie's got a lot of confidence in himself to this day. He's going to be 65 this year, as we'll talk about. He looks like he's, 10 years younger than me. But, yeah, Super Bowl Bear. And I had actually forgotten that Willie is the reason the Super Bowl shuffle happened. So that story is in here. So check it out yesterday, catching up with the Super Bowl champion, wide receiver, Willie Gault. It is our pleasure on CHGO Bears to bring in a Super Bowl champion Bear straight out of Griffin, Georgia. I can't believe what I'm looking at right now. Willie Gault, it says here that you're gonna be that you're in your mid-60s. You just had a birthday. You look like you could run with the Bears right now as their fifth receiver, if maybe not even their number one. You look great, my friend. Thanks for making time.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So I want to get into this roster first, and then I want to just dive back. People might forget that you actually played more years with the Raiders, one more year than you did with the Bears. But when you're watching the Bears now, you're out in California, Willie. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
So when you look at this wide receiver room, and you've been watching DJ Moore and now Rome Odunze coming into his second year, what are you seeing talent-wise? What should fair expectations be as far as these guys in year one with Ben Johnson in your mind?
Well, I mean, the league is a throwing league. You know, it's built for receivers now, basically. So they're two really good receivers. They do a good job and have a good quarterback. So now it's just a matter of having time to throw and getting it done. So I'm excited for them. I hope they have a great season. I'm looking forward to an exciting game on Monday. I'll be there, the first game. So I want to see some deep throws, some intermediate throws, some runs, some catches, and everything.
What's 83's take on the quarterback? What did you think about Caleb in year one?
Oh, I like him. You know, he's a great athlete, which is important to have at the quarterback position. Has a great arm, great knack for the game. And he's a winner. He wants to win at all costs, which is great. And those are the makings of a champion. That's what Jim McMahon had. I mean, Jim, of course, wasn't an athlete that Caleb is, but Jim could do some amazing things, running the ball, throwing the ball. And he was really smart, and Caleb was smart. So they're very similar.
So it's interesting. McMahon was a rookie in 82. You came in 83.
Yeah.
Now we get to go back into my childhood. By the way, 85, the only game that I was blessed to go to, which I was blessed, just fortunate to be able to say that. Opener against the Bucs, sat in the family section, Willie. My dad made sandwiches. You couldn't drink beer in that thing. 38-28. Y'all came back and got them. So, it's like it's that whole era is near and dear to my heart. But Jim, admittedly, was my favorite Bear back then because Walter was the man, but there was a swagger that he brought. What you're getting to the Bears and trying to get on the same level with him and becoming one of his trusted guys. What was that like? How did that go? What was the journey with the early part of you and Jim?
Well, I came in the league and I had confidence because I knew what I could do. I knew I was faster than basically anyone on the field. And so I had no lack of confidence. So I wasn't really coming in to try to help build relationship per se, but I was nice to everybody. And Jim and I, we got off to somewhat of a rough start, but it wasn't a big deal. It was just a matter of him understanding me and me understanding him. But it was great. He threw the ball at me, I caught it. That was my job. And that was the only thing. I in the off season, I would leave to go to California to run track, and they would stay around and do other things. But it was different back then. It was really different. But I had a good relationship with all my teammates, and Jim was no different. We really didn't actually go out together and that things, but maybe a couple of times we did. But later on in our career, we did. But as a rookie, you're just trying to find your way. You're just trying to do your best. You're out. You got wide eyes, and you're out doing the best that you can. And I was there every day. I didn't miss a practice or a game. I tried to know my plays. I never really made a lot of mistakes. And I gave my game full speed. I was there full speed all the time, and I think that's what I added to the team.
What's your favorite game from that year that you maybe think back about every now and then? I'm not even going to say any of them. Let's go. Where do you go?
Well, my first year, my game that I probably remember the most is a game I caught my first 3 touchdowns in, which was one game, which was New Orleans. I caught 2 touchdowns from Walter Payton and 1 from Jim McMahon. So that for me was a highlight of my rookie year, of course. And then, of course, my career be winning the Super Bowl, which is the ultimate as far as a football player goes, to win the Super Bowl. So, and I had some great years. I led the team every year in catches and yards. And so I really helped the team a lot. I think I took a lot of the pressure off Walter from the standpoint of making sure the safety just didn't sit down inside and wait for him. So it was good for him. I stretched the defense, which was part of my job. And I did it well, and I enjoyed it, and it wasn't a big deal to me as far as not to do it.
Okay, so what do you remember then about Thursday night Minnesota? McMahon's begging to come in. Walter has the incredible block, 3 touchdowns. You guys beat the Vikings. And I think at that point, at least my memory, Bears fans were like, this is different. This team has a winning factor that no other Bears team that we've ever seen has.
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting game because we were doing okay with Steve. And then I think we got behind or whatever a little bit. And then Jim was on the sideline just begging Mike to come in. And Mike just said, okay, go in. He goes in. The first play, I think, was a screenplay. And so it was man-to-man. I saw it. I looked at Jim. He looked at me. And I go, that means I'm going. So I just ran past David Lee, and he threw the ball. And the coach came back after the play and said, Jim, why'd you throw the ball to Willie? He said, because he was open. That was great. It was a great play.
That's called good football. Hey,
good football.
Yeah. Would you? How many yards would Willie Gault put up in today's NFL with how it's a little bit more favorable to throw in the football nowadays? Obviously.
Well, I would have loved to have played in this type of football. I love catching the ball. I love running routes, and I was open a lot, as all receivers say they were. But our team was more of a balanced team. A lot of people don't really know. That year, the Bears defense was ranked number 1 in the league, but the offense was ranked number 2 in the league. So we had a really balanced offense. And we had this guy named Walter Payton that could really run the ball. So we had to do that also. But I was pretty pleased at my career and what I was able to do there. But if I was playing in this league, I'd catch 100 passes, which would be great. But, again, back then, you didn't have to catch 100 passes because we ran the ball a lot. We were a balanced offense.
And Sweetness was even, he was past his prime at that point. Not that he still couldn't do it, but it wasn't, he'd already been in the league by the time you got in there, 5, 6 years, 7 years. And then, of course, by the time the Super Bowl, he's a decade in. And he still was an enormous factor. What's a favorite Walter story you can share?
Well, I knew Walter before I came to the Bears. Actually, I met him at a Fellowship of Christian Athlete event somewhere in Texas or somewhere. So we had known each other. Then when I was drafted by the Bears, I was happy. My favorite Walter story is that we were at practice one day, and everyone was out. It was sort of like just a regular practice. And all of a sudden, there was these MS missiles started to go off and bombs. And everyone looked at Walter and started laughing because it was Walter doing it. So Walter was a practical joker. He was really a great guy, really friendly, just loved people, and really a great human being.
I should tell people, Willie, that you're going to be in Las Vegas week 4, Bears and Raiders. And here's the event for you. It's the 40th anniversary reunion. Yourself, Dennis McKinnon, Jim McMahon, the Fridge making a rare public appearance, which is amazing. Otis Wilson. Tickets are $200 a person. As you see there, CHGO is going to have we're going to pop in and talk to some of you guys that night. That's gotta be pretty cool. I mean, you play with the Raiders, you play with the Bears, you get to be with your old teammates. A lot of fun's going to be had this weekend, I would assume.
Oh, it's going to be great, and get a chance to see 4 members of the Super Bowl Shuffle will be there, which would be great. And get a chance to see William, which I haven't seen William in a couple of years. I saw Jim earlier this year, and I've seen Otis and Dennis McKinnon. So played golf with Dennis McKinnon about a couple of months ago. So it's a great time. It's our 40th anniversary. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We'll never celebrate a 40th anniversary again. And, we're excited about it. We're excited to be there and to be in Vegas and then to go to the game and have fun with our fans.
When they came to you for the Super Bowl Shuffle, what was your first reaction?
Well, actually, I came to them. It was part of my idea along with the producer. It was my idea, so I had to come and sell it to them. So it was very tedious, A lot of the guys didn't want to do it because they thought it'd be bad luck. Like Dan Hampton said no because it's bad luck. Steve McMichael said no. But then Steve McMichael told me a couple of years ago, he said the thing I regret the most is not being a part of the Super Bowl shuffle. So it was great. It was a great time. It brought the world together. It made football exciting again. We became the glory or the fanfare of the world, basically. And we got nominated for a Grammy, which we lost to Prince, and the song called "Kiss," I guess. So, which was interesting. We shouldn't have been in the same category, but it was great. We had a good time.
So that's on me. I should know that you were the originator. Like a producer came to you and said, "Hey, Willie, can you get these guys to do this?" Is that how it went down?
No, a producer and I did a video for him called "Here to Stay." Well, the Heat and Me with Linda Clifford. I met the producer in Monaco. I was there for a celebrity tennis tournament, and he was introduced to me by my agent then. I was my Hollywood agent, ICM Jack Gilardi. And then he wanted me to be in this video. Once I did the video, we talked, we had dinner. He said, I got this song, this music, I don't know what to do with it. I said, well, maybe we should do a video or a song with the Bears. Said, yeah, that'd be great. Then we talked about what players would be involved, and I had the dubious duty of going to try to convince the players to do a music video in the first part of the season. We were just going to training camp. So we recorded the music, I think, in game number 2 or 3 or 1, something like that. So we predicted we're going to win the Super Bowl in game number 1 or 2 in a 16-game season. Not like Joe Namath, who predicted at the Super Bowl they would win. So it was unheard of, but we had fun. And the good thing about it, I think it brought us together even more than we already were.
How often do people do the lyrics that you did back to you?
All the time. All the time. I did it all the time. Do you know it? Of course I know it. I helped write them all. I know them all.
I mean, yes, Speedy Willie, I'm world class. I like running, but I love to catch the pass. I practice all day. I dance all night. I got to get ready for the Sunday fight. I'm as smooth as a chocolate swirl. Now dance real funky. So watch
I dance a little funky. I dance a little funky. So watch me, girl.
There's no
one here that does like me. My Super Bowl shuffle will set you free. Exactly.
You were number 2 in the list. Walter went first, and then you were second.
Correct. Yes.
Who was the one guy that you didn't think that you could get to do it that actually said yes in the end?
I think Gary, because he was really conservative. Gary Fentrick. But everybody else was like really cool about doing it. And Gary was too, actually. When I asked him, I told him who was doing it. He goes, okay, cool. So he did it. But I wasn't sure. But the other 2 people that I wanted was Dan Hampton, who he didn't do it because he just thought it wasn't right. And then Steve McMichael, who said, well, it's not right for me. We shouldn't do it because it may come as bad luck. And I go, your coach just did a video or he's doing commercials. It doesn't matter. So it's just, let's have fun. We only get this thing once in a lifetime. We may never see this again, which we didn't. And so we have fun.
I did post game for the Bears with Ham for 7 years. He might have told me a story once. I think it might have been him, where they're up in Green Bay. I think you were already a Raider at this point, but maybe now. I'm going to try to jot your memory if possible. You guys play Green Bay. The bus is leaving in maybe an hour after the game, 2 hours after the game. So Hamp and McMichael go into the parking lot and they start drinking beers with the Packer fans. And they hear the bus start to rumble that it's going to leave, so they come running up the hill to get on the bus. Ditka tells the bus driver to go. The bus leaves, and Ditka gives them the one-finger salute out the way, and they had to find their way back home. Does that sound like anything you remember?
I wasn't there, but that probably happened.
Did you like Mike? What was that relationship?
I like Mike. Mike and I had a pretty good relationship. I just did my job, and that's it. Mike knew I was going to be there to do my job, and he didn't have a problem with me. So we had a good relationship. Again, I met Mike also before I was drafted by the Bears, so I had a relationship with him before, a small relationship. I had met him at a Christian athlete deal. And so the one thing about Mike is that, if you did your job, he didn't have a problem. I did my job. I was there on time. I never missed a game in 12 years in the National Football League. Never missed a game, of course, with the Bears. I was there for every play and did my best. And I think he saw that and appreciated that.
Were you ahead of the curve in how you took care of your body at that time?
Oh, absolutely. I was one of the first players to stop eating meat. I prepared my own food at the training tables. I worked out a lot, worked out year round. So I never really got out of shape. So I thought that was part of me being the best that I could be. And I ate right. So a lot of guys, a lot of meat and potatoes, basically. That's what the game was back then. But I didn't eat meat. So I was I was a vegetarian for 5 years, and then I became a pescatarian. So I was ahead of the curve, I think.
Yeah. Let me ask one Raiders question. Willie, I appreciate the time here. Bo, you play with Bo Jackson, and some people would call
Correct.
Bo the greatest athlete of all time. I mean, certainly an incredible accomplishment playing professional baseball, professional football, and just the pure speed and the power. Like your thoughts on just being around Bo and what you saw.
Oh no, Bo was great. Bo and I became friends before we played together at the Raiders, and of course we went to the SEC together. He was at Auburn, and I was at Tennessee. Of course, I was there before he was, so I knew of him. Great athlete, really fun. I see Bo all the time. I play in this golf tournament every year in Chicago. I see him at other tournaments here. We always kid each other. We have a great love relationship and a great friendship that will last forever. And he's a really, really good person, really quality person. And a great athlete.
Yeah. You need 1 yard on the goal line. You giving it to Walter? You're giving it to Bo? I think we got to give it to Walter, but Bo's like, if you had to run somebody over, I don't know.
Right. I'm giving it to Walter, but if I'm 99 yards away, I'm giving it to Bo.
that breakaway speed was. I mean, everybody's seen him running through the tunnel after the Bosworth thing and a million others. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, he's great. He's a great guy.
Hey Willie, it's awesome to catch up with you. We'll see you in Vegas again. 40th anniversary, $200 a ticket. We got a ton of Bears fans coming out there. I mean, that is a rare event right there. So this is just awesome what you guys are doing.
Absolutely. So everybody come out. Let's have fun. See each other. See the guys, and reminisce. That'd be great.
And then maybe the Bears will get a win that weekend. We'll see.
For sure. Maybe so.
Yeah.
We'll see. My friend Marty will be there with us.
Yeah. Willie, appreciate you. Thanks so much.
I'll take it easy.
All right, Carm.
Were you able to listen to any of that, or were you diving in on what's going on in Substack world there, Hoge?
No.
Be honest.
I heard 0% of that interview. I've been reading Tyler Dunn's piece and trying to digest it. I will catch up on the podcast myself. If I don't know if you guys are paying attention to what's going on out there, but Tyler Dunn, who's a really good reporter, he's a friend. He's been on the show before. I've been on his podcast, but he's got a pretty big piece on Caleb Williams and some pretty damning stuff, not only on the quarterback, but the GM, it appears. I don't really want to get into it right now. I have not read it. I have not digested it. We are already on too many lines of stuff being fair or not fair. So it's not happening this second on this show.
I didn't want to get into it either. I just wanted to know what I could ask you about the interview. So I probably should have done that in the private chat. At any rate, I love Willie. It was a ton of fun. I know that people get tired about 85, but it's the first time that I've ever gotten to talk to Willie. And I'm actually embarrassed by the fact that I somehow forgot that he was the guy that put the damn ass Super Bowl shuffle together, but that was super fun just to hear him tell the story. That event in Vegas will be cool. We'll see what, the fridge never comes out. He's in a wheelchair. This is a big deal, I think, but especially for the old hat Bears fans to be able to see these guys, it'll be a cool thing.
Yeah. Another reason to come to Vegas too. TrueFanTravel.com. We're going to be there. It's going to be a great time. There's still time to sign up. We're finalizing our plans. Airfare is insane. The tickets are insane. So if you sign up a True Fan at this point, I'm pretty sure you're getting actually an amazing deal. Plus all the events we got going on, and you can add on events like that one with Willie Gault and former Bears. Great job with that interview. I'm just going to trust Robert Lee and the commenters on that. They seem to have liked it, Carm. I will listen to it later.
You don't need it. I won't quiz you on this one. I won't badger you like I did on the Beige interview.
We went right to, we tossed that interview, and all of a sudden there's slacks blowing up. Boy, you seen this? Have you seen that? I'm like, what's going on? I'm booking a guest I don't even know.
Yeah.
A lot going on. So here's the deal. It does not sound like this is going to be our last show of the day. We got in 5 minutes. Well, this is definitely not our last show of the day. 5 minutes over on the Hoge and Jahns channel. Brand new Hoge and Jahns show previewing Bears Vikings like we have now going into season 11 of going through these game previews. Alec Lewis joins us. Great breakdown of, if you haven't heard enough at this point, trying to break down this game, but our preview episodes are back. So that's going to be right over there on the Hoge Jahns channel starting at 2:15 Central Time. We are going to do more digging into this Caleb Williams piece that just came out. And I believe we are going to talk to Tyler Dunn, the author, on a separate pod later in the day. Probably won't be live, but we will upload it here to the CHGO channel. So we can all do a deep dive and digest everything and hear from the guy who wrote it himself. That's the plan here on CHGO. So please hit that like button. Please subscribe. As always, when news breaks, when stuff like this happens, we are on top of it. We will sleep in February. That's the plan. So
I
really thought I was about to go outside on my Friday and enjoy my rest of the day and maybe start thinking about high school football. I got the Carmel gear on. I'm ready to go over to Lake Forest the whole day. But no, we got Saturday.
We'll just
keep talking about Caleb Williams till the end of time.
Yeah. And by the way, you got Saturday and Sunday off. We're back Monday. You're just gonna. Actually, we don't.
You do. You are going to Boston tomorrow.
I'm flying to Boston to see the great Grace Carman play in her third college game for Brandeis. They're 1-0-1. Damn it. I might have to do some live videos from there. So, but hey, this is big stuff. When news happens, we do it. So we're back with you in a little while. And I read a little bit of this. It ain't a great look for Ryan Pauls. What's going on? What I've read, but we'll talk about it later.
All right. Hop on over to the Hoge Jahns channel. Please subscribe there. Please make sure you're subscribed in both places. But our Bears Vikings preview is about to start in a couple minutes. So jump on over there. We will probably be back here a little bit later on with a little bit of a bonus mini pod for you on this Caleb Williams piece that just came out. Donate to Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Most importantly, that's all there for you. You can donate right here by clicking that handshake button near the chat, or go to bbbs.org/ALLCITY. Become a diehard. Come to the tailgate Monday. And if we don't hear from you, if you don't even want to hear the Caleb Williams stuff, I don't blame you at this point. We'll see you on Monday pregame before Bears Vikings. We will be live. I think it's 6 or 6:15. We'll figure that out over the weekend. But enjoy the football as well. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy the weekend. Football's back. Love it. Talk to you later.
We all silly like the mayor.